Hello? Can you hear me? Hey, this is Rick Ginn. I just want to know if you're the owner of 46th Street on right off 5th. What? Yeah, I don't even know how to do that. Really?
Hey,
You should hear
stop
what they
cold
said to
calling.
me. My
Stop
God.
cold calling. There's way better things you can be doing.
Give me this.
No cold calling. Guys, if you are going out here and going on the phones
Painful.
and calling and calling and calling and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, or you're kind of stuck in this loop where you're like, yeah, I'm doing wholesaling real estate deals, but to get the next deal, I have to get on the phones for 4 hours today, and that's all I'm doing, and I'm not going anywhere in my business. This is the video for you. Now, I know this is kind of weird because, Zach's the guy that loves talking about cold calling. You probably cold call every day if you're watching this video. But the point of today is I think there's a certain amount of people, and maybe even you, that need to stop cold calling. Like completely go cold turkey on cold calling. Because, hate to say it, some of you guys are going nowhere with cold calling, and you can do way better strategies. And heck, cold calling isn't even the best, fastest way possible of doing this. And so what we're going to do today is something kind of out of the ordinary that you think of hearing when it comes to wholesaling houses, but it's like, maybe you need to stop cold calling. And let's kind of talk about this because I think so many people get stuck in, I personally call this, I was gonna come out with a, with one of those like prison suits. Those.
Do you have one?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
I gotta get one I'll get from the costume store, because a lot of you guys are stuck in what I call cold calling jail. And the honest truth here is, I see so many wholesalers that are a victim of their own success. And heck, I was one of these people where you're doing one deal a month, you're making 100K. This is great, right? Oh, you're a success in wholesaling. But the honest truth here is, if you don't sit down for 4 hours a day on cold call, you're getting nowhere and you're stuck. And obviously you want to add more cold callers, or you want to add more marketing, but like all your time is 4 hours of cold calling, a couple hours of list polling, and you're on appointments, and that's the whole day. And you repeat it every day. And you're stuck in this perpetual loop every single day of calling. And you're basically in jail. Like, you're in your prison, you're cold calling, and it turns into like this glorified job of a little bit. And what we're going to do today is really show you people who are stuck in cold calling jail how to escape it, to kind of stop cold calling. Heck, people that they're cold calling, but they could probably be doing better things. And I'm going to give you some examples. And this is a video that's probably like, oh, yes, I don't. We have a problem if you listen to this and you're like, oh, I want to get out of cold calling, and you're doing no deals. So first and foremost, cold calling is not your only path to success in wholesaling real estate. I want you to understand. I know I do a lot of cold calls. I know I'm personally doing very well with cold calling. I've always done well with cold calling. And a lot of people watching this content, they make a lot of money through cold calling. So what am I talking about, right? I think a lot of people get really scared and freaked out when people talk about don't cold call. And so, like I've said, so many guys are starting to close deals with cold calling. You get trapped in this cold calling daily jail. You're not growing. You don't know what to do. But the other half of you guys click this video because you want to avoid your fear of calling, right? And if you're watching this video because you just want to avoid the fear of talking to a seller live or the fear of cold calling, you already lost the game. You just click out of the video, because like the point of today is not to stop cold calling because you're scared to talk to sellers. You're scared to make offers. If you're already scared to make offers, get out of here, right? Like,
It's not going to work.
if you're scared to talk to us, newsflash, if you do any other strategy to find wholesaling real estate deals, you're going to have to still talk to the seller, handle mean people, handle objections, and actually get contracts signed. Still have to do your boots in the garden. You still have to do all that stuff before that we talked about. But here's the issue. You're not going to get around the fear of actually talking to a seller. Now, if you're watching this because you don't want to sit down 3, 4, 5 hours a day to cold call and you'd rather do other things, I get it. I get it. But if you're watching this because you have this fear of talking to a seller, you need a cold call, because we got to get rid of this fear that people are going to call you a poopy head. Because who cares if someone calls you a poopy head? Like, Come on, every day. I get that every day. Like, it don't matter anymore. But if you're watching this because you have a fear of talking to sellers, this is not who we're talking about. Because if you have fear of talking to sellers, we're going to have to get you in front of sellers, right? So if you have a fear of kittens, I'm just going to throw 100 kittens at you until you stop being scared of kittens. It's crazy. People are scared of all these things. Most people have to get over the fear, all right? So stop cold calling and work smarter. I think a lot of people don't understand this concept. And it's kind of the concept of you, right? You're like, you're not a cold caller. I think you do pretty well, right?
I had it in my mind a long time ago, and I was doing so good in other avenues that I didn't do it. Honestly, it was stupid, and I had no problem dealing with sellers. I just didn't understand how to work the phones and stuff. But here's the one quote that I promise you will always ring true no matter where we are in society, and even 2,000 years from now. What you resist will persist. Meaning the more scared you are of cold calls, the bigger the monster grows. You're better off just biting the head off of it and attacking it. I was scared of probates. I decided one day, this is it. I'm just going to take it down and get it done. Luckily, he came in, decided to dive in cold calling. I was never scared to talk to sellers. I just didn't understand how to be efficient in cold calling. So if you're resisting it, honestly, just go for it, because you're better off just doing it and experiencing it. Because rejection, quite honestly, I think it's the same in phone or in person. To me, there's no real difference other than time. You save a lot of time on the phone. That's the huge difference. And you don't really have to have a car, which is a challenge for a lot of people watching this. So if you're trying to avoid it, go ahead into it. And that's just one way to do it. It doesn't mean you got to do cold calling forever. I'm not saying that. But by trying to avoid it, it will come back to haunt you at some point.
I see a lot of people. Cold calling is a thing where, like, I get where you're at here, but I think people confuse cold calling with talking to sellers. You're still going to talk to sellers. It's going to happen. Okay, like it's going to happen. You're going to talk to sellers, and you're going to have to still do wholesaling deals by talking to sellers. So you're not going to avoid this, but you're still going to get a ton of deals by doing this. And so let's have a conversation here. Okay, first of all, foremost, if you're a beginner, cold calling is the only option for you, for a vast majority of people, okay? For the vast majority of people, you okay right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
It's past my bedtime, that's why.
So for the vast majority of people, if you're a beginner, you have no money, cold calling is one of your only options, right? Especially if you're virtual. It's tough. I get it. Like, we're going to need some help here. But I'll tell you that it still is not my favorite way to get a wholesaling deal. Like, I mean, right now, if I look at my wholesaling business, even virtual, it's not my favorite.
It's not the easiest way.
It's not the easiest way.
But it's probably one of the most efficient ways. Would you say that?
Like, cost-effective wise, it's
and time.
$0, right?
Yeah.
It's like, obviously, right? But cold calling is not my favorite thing in the world to be doing. Okay, I'd rather be just closing deals instead. But let me be honest with you. There's a lot smarter things you can do besides cold calling, all right? Now, I'll say, why is cold calling not my favorite? First and foremost, it's not an inbound marketing strategy, right? It's a lot of hard work. It's, if you will, monotonous. Kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And for a lot of wholesalers, there's no end in sight. Like, you do a deal a month, and it's very hard to grow from there. And you do deals and get VAs and do it from there, but a lot of people, they don't have even the time for that when they're stuck in cold calling jail, right? So there are better options, and we're going to talk about those options today, right? But really, for most wholesalers watching this, if you could start implementing inbound marketing, your life will get a lot easier. Okay, not attacking the lists, but actually receiving the lists in. And I don't see enough wholesalers talking about this, and it drives me crazy. But just start getting inbound leads in, and your life would be a lot easier, right? You won't have to work as hard. I think there's a lot of strategies out here where you don't have to cold call 5 hours a day, maybe 1-2 hours a day max. And over time, it's 2 hours a day for a week. That's 14 hours. Like, it adds up. It really adds up over time. And just makes your life a lot easier. Or heck, if you decide to do the same 5 hours of work, you're double as efficient. And so cold calling is not your sole answer to life. And I know a lot of people think it's the sole answer for wholesaling, which, yeah, your skills, cold calling a lot, do skyrocket. You get jacked up from doing it. And if it's something you have a passion of or something you like, you don't have a big fear of, you can definitely do very well. And I'm not telling you if you're a beginner and you're super scared to talk to sellers, you should definitely still consider it. But I will tell you, don't try to just absolutely only jump into cold calling. There's so many other options that people get their first deal with no cold calling involved. Look at him. You look at guys. My first $100,000 was not even in cold calling. I was a young gun, 16, 17. But like, I did without cold calling, right? And I chose it, and I got a lot better at it, and it's definitely a great way for me to do it. But I'm just saying, so you can do half of the work of cold calling and get double the results. That's what we're talking about today. And so, like, what are some other things you can be doing besides cold calling to find wholesaling deals? And it's not that complicated. Okay, number one, we spilled the beans on this a while back, but this is still something. It's what I call underutilized in the wholesaling marketplace. Digital bandit signs. I don't know what more I can say. You're posting bandit signs online. No, you're not dropping $4,000 or $5,000 a month on Facebook ads and PPC and SEO like all these schmucks are doing. No, what you're doing is you're going on Craigslist, you're going to Facebook groups, and you're getting organic inbound leads coming to you. You can even do bandit comments, which are one of my favorites. We buy houses. I just comment underneath that. Digital bandit signs are great. And here's the sad part. You're watching this right now, and you see they're like, okay, digital bandit. Okay, what's the next thing he's going to say? Like you automatically just flip it over. Like when I say you should go to freewholesaling.com. Okay, I'll just watch the next video. Right? Like that's what people do.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, like I don't know what to tell you. You need to do digital bandit signs. Just do it for a month.
But why not just do PPC? Because everybody talks about it. And guys, listen, just so you know, PPC is an advanced strategy. If you don't have at least 50 deals under your belt, you should never even consider doing PPC. And I track a lot of information all over the country. PPCs right now are difficult. They're very, and this is group consensus. You got two choices. You can do a pay for play, meaning a company does the processing. They charge you $200 to $400 per lead. On average, those leads are trash. It's going to take you 25 to 30 leads to get one deal. Just do the math on that, okay? It's staggering. Most of the people won't even call you back. The other one is you can hire an agency. And this is how you get sucked in. A guru says, "Hey, use my agency guy. He's going to get you my results or her results.
I'm going to get 50% commission."
And so it's you never see any stats, you never see anything. I'm just here to tell you guys, PPC, unless you got 50 deals in your belt, don't even look at it or consider it because it is a long-term commitment. It is big boy money. And honestly, I haven't had great results. He hasn't had great results with it. I work with thousands of investors all over the country. We pretty much avoid it unless you're going to go big, 6 figures with an incredibly large staff. I believe PPC is it is the new secret wholesaling course behind it. If you don't believe me, if someone recommends it, I guarantee you they got a course backing it up or they're getting a kickback from the person that's promoting it. It all has to go through one guy. The pay for play leads, they're trash and they know it. That's why you're paying $200 to $400 per lead. So you're going to have to do 20 leads. That's $8,000 per lead. And you're telling me direct mail is expensive? Guys, wake up. I don't know why people are targeting PPC to new wholesalers. It makes no sense. I've been doing this 21 years and it doesn't work for me. I'm not a big PPC guy because I don't have the background in it, but I've done it. I've spent a lot of money on it. It's really tough, guys. It's challenging. Go find someone and don't take their word for it. Tell them to show you digital proof because it's all digitized and you're going to see a lot of money going out one way. And everyone who promotes it or tries to sell you on it, they seem to always have a course or they have a guy or a gal you need to go see. And that's how it works.
Exactly. So what we're going to do here is talk about a new marketing strategy. Okay. A brand new marketing strategy that was told by all the schmurus, the lurers, the burus, whatever you want to call them, right? This is brand new. All right. It's called PPL. You know why it's so cool? Because it's got a what are the three factors I've always said about a wholesaling marketing scam or how to sell some marketing thing or some course? Number one, it's got to have a flashy name.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, flashy name. Okay, number one, flashy name, right? We call probates. If I'm going to do a probate course, I call it the llama method. I have an animal. I'm going to associate a method that's been used for, like this book right here, for hundreds of years. I'm going to put it on an animal. I'm going to call it a llama method. I'm going to sell it to you for 10 grand. That's pretty much how all wholesaling guru stuff works, right? So we associate a method that's been used for hundreds of years. We associate an animal to it or a word, whatever we want to do, right? And then, so number one is we find basically a sexy name. Number two is we use a method that's already been used before. And then number three is we say it's new and it's never been done before and it's the best, right?
Yeah.
And so novations were like this.
Oh Lord! Don't get me started on that one.
Now, PPC is not a new thing. I'm actually not trashing PPC here. Okay, PPC's been something for 20 years basically since Google's been a thing, right?
It's got to be in the right hands.
It's always been a thing. Now, PPC's been less basically for the past 15 years. It's been less effective, right? And the problem is, same thing with Facebook. Okay. Now, Facebook ads used to be actually a decent thing until it got more expensive. More Coca-Cola, all the right. Now, here's the thing: Facebook ads and PPC and SEO, those are all pretty standard industry things. It doesn't follow the guru rule, right? So it's not a new name.
No.
Right? It's not a new name. It's like, how do I sell this? Dang it, we're not selling enough PPC. You know what we're gonna do instead, Rick? Let's run a PPC, and we're gonna get the lead in, and then we're gonna sell the lead. So it's not pay per click, it's pay per lead. Yes, it's a new name.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell it like that.
Guys, just you search the internet, and I'm talking about like established players, 10 years plus. They said they've all pretty much given on PPL, and it just think about this.
Explain why?
Because it doesn't. It's
it actually no.
So we'll tell them how to get the leads.
PPL is actually it was pretty cool when it came out, but this is like a gold rush. Okay, so you're very familiar. You've watched. I would say anyone watching this live stream, you probably have not watched enough as much gold mining shows as Rick Ginn.
I love that stuff, man.
You watch a lot of gold mining shows, so we're talking gold mining.
Tens of millions of dollars to make $1 million to me just blows me away.
Find out that it has gold.
Yeah.
So the first 3 months, they take all the gold out.
Yeah.
And the people that come in a year later are like, "Where's the gold?"
Got to get down to that bedrock.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: PPL used to work really because so how the way PPL pretty much works, and I'm not the expert. Some PPL guy's gonna just try to sell you a $10,000 program. Is gonna scream at me. But for most of them, they run some PPC or they do some tech thing, But basically, they'll run the campaign. They'll get the leads in, maybe through an SEO or a PPC type thing, and then they'll sell that lead to a certain person in the market. And so, for example, if I'm in Dallas and PPL's brand new, I got 2 or 3 guys that are customers in my PPL company that are buying those leads.
Yeah.
And then the gurus go on board. Guess what? Let's say I get 20 leads in for the month. I have 200 guys bidding on my 20 properties versus 3. That gets more saturated. So the cost of the lead goes up. What do you think those guys do? Do you think they will just only sell that one lead to one person? Come on. They're gurus. They're going to sell those 20 leads to each person, right?
They sell them to everybody.
They're going to sell them
and
to
that's
everyone.
the problem.
And the problem is it gets more saturated. It's like a fishing pond. You got 2 fishermen in a pond with a lot of bass. It's great. You add 60 fishermen in the pond, it gets a lot harder. The fish get smarter and it gets rough. And so what I'm telling you is PPL used to be a decent thing, and I got my pulse to the wholesaling game.
It used to work a while ago.
I was seeing decent results. I give any marketing channel 6 months starting out just okay. And then guess what happens? Whoosh.
You know what? An interesting stat with it goes along with the wholesaling courses. 90 to 95% of leads never respond on a phone call, text, or anything. Think about that failure rate. That means you're getting 95% garbage. So you think you're paying. My favorite, when people used to sell us Facebook, they go, but it's only $8 a lead. I'm like, yeah, but if I get 10,000 leads and I never convert it, who cares about the cost? And PPL started out was like 20, 30, 50, 200. And then you get the same list. I get the list. You guys get the all same list. And whoever got that list first, come on, like, guys, you don't think there's some wholesalers behind that list that are cherry picking that stuff and they go, just sell the crap. Wholesalers will buy anything. You guys got to stop buying that crap, man. I just don't. 95% failure ratios on those leads. You do the math. They're very, very expensive. In fact, they're probably more expensive than a regular PPC campaign you did on your own.
And so the only online strategy that seems new, which I'll tell anyone, that actually is effective that we don't talk about is SEO. I've seen a lot of cats that know their stuff in SEO.
That's more of a marathon run.
That they work for Google. They work for these crazy SEO agencies. And they got into wholesaling and they did the SEO, and that they've actually done well. And they know their stuff, but it's not you, okay? You don't know how to write Python, CSS. You don't know that stuff, okay? You shouldn't be the one getting it. Unless you do the SEO yourself.
They still do Java? Or is that just my coffee?
It's like old. But like
JavaScript.
What I can tell you is, unless you're actually like, you know your stuff, which I don't know my stuff. Like, I know how it works.
Yeah.
And the only reason I can talk about this is because I know guys that do very, 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 very well with SEO. And they show me the back ends because they know I'm not going to be, it's not my thing. I know how they work. These are guys that know their stuff. Okay. Or they got a buddy who's like this tech whiz that does it for them. And they split some, like, unless it's like this, hiring an outsourcing agency to do this for you is not the move, guys and gals. And so PPC is an option. It's expensive. People think SEO is free. It's very expensive, but it is something I'm not going to trash if you know how to do it yourself and try it out. Now, PPC, like, I know guys that do it well, but most of them get out of here, right? So we look at a chart of wholesaling, right? The wholesaling industry, in real estate industry, is jacking up. And I said next 2 years, industry should double again. And the problem is when the industry doubles, the amount of marketing doubles. And the problem is if we double the amount of cold calling, it won't have a crazy impact on saturation as compared to if we double the amount of people running PPC ads, because that's a complete double in the cost per lead. Cost per lead for cold calling, no, because most people still aren't willing to do the right thing. Most people aren't still willing to go out there and cold call. And so what I'm saying is this industry is getting bigger. Some of these new age type things, be very wary of them. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what else to say on that end, but like, be very wary. But digital band signs are still a thing that works and still a very important thing to do because most people aren't still willing to do that. Just being honest. So the next part is reverse drawing for dollars. Again, I hear him talk about it too much. Show me the next thing of what I can do to make $40,000 a month. We're talking about making $40,000 a month wholesaling houses. Like, is that a small feat? No, it's a pretty big dang thing, right?
The other ones we're talking about, you got to spend $40,000 to make $40,000.
Yeah,
like you don't get ahead doing it, and that's the perpetual loop. Most of those paid companies like want to get you in. They should just call it the 95%. Well, I'm not going to say it. I won't. It's kids watching.
They can read between the lines. But like, guys, you're gonna make $40,000 in a month, and you ain't stripping. Like, this is not your option. You got that's legal. I'm just being honest, right? Like, what else can you do to make $40,000 in a month? You got no money at all. That's legal. Really, you got no other option. So, like, why do you roll your eyes? Why do you roll your eyes when I ask you to just put a sticky note on a house? You can listen to your new Taylor Swift album by doing it. Like, what other marketing strategy?
It's not Instagram worthy.
No, but like, it's not Instagram. Like, what other marketing strategy can you just put headphones in and just get to work? Like, the craziest part about my generation, and I love talking smack about them because they drive me crazy.
Tell me about it.
and you're watching this. I'm gonna get real with some people watching this right now. Okay, a good amount of young people right now trying to hustle. They will get paid $14 an hour to DoorDash, to go to Domino's Pizza, pick up the pizza for them, then drop it off at their house because the guy's too lazy to go get the food himself, right?
Yep.
DoorDashing, Uber Eats, whatever you want to call it. You'll get paid $14 an hour to drive around all day and night, but you're not willing. Let's do the math here. Let's do one $20,000 deal. If you put 10 hours, put 40 hours, that's getting roughly $500 an hour.
But it's not guaranteed, Zach.
It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed if you DoorDash, your car's not, the transmission ain't going to go out. Right? It's not guaranteed.
They're not going to help you out with that.
No, right? There's a lot of risk on that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and y'all will go make $300, maybe $300. Let's call it. You'll make $300 in a week. All right, $300, and you go spend $20 on the lucky number 5 lottos. Right, the little scratch offs. The best lottery you can do is wholesaling houses. You put a sticky note out. You have a 1 in 200 chance of a $30,000. And you can put as many lottery tickets as you want. I got buddies that are like, oh, it's $10,000 a month for the rest of my life. Oh my gosh, I'm going to buy it. And they never win. People play the lottery, they don't put sticky notes out.
Well, it's sometimes when you guys, here's the reality. So I've done every job known to mankind. And when you get paid per hour, when I was younger, I'm like, okay, I'm getting $10 an hour. I work 30 hours this week. I'll get $300. And that's how you do it. And then when we go to something like this, where I go, listen, knock on doors to make $10,000 to $40,000 assignments, but you're not guaranteed anything. And honestly, probably not going to get paid in your first 3 or 4 weeks. And that scares the hell out of most of you. And I'm telling you, until you can make that shift, you're going to be stuck doing the math manually every day until you make that decision. Anybody who makes any type of money in this world understands working for an hourly rate. Listen, we all have to do it at some point. I did it for a super long time. He got out much earlier. The question is, I don't care if you're 65 or you're 16, until you can break. You guys treat those paychecks like it's a drug, like you're hooked on it. And until you can make that conversion to say, hey, I tell you what, I'm willing to make an investment in myself to go get that bread. That's how you have to do it, because it took me a long time. And then so the problem is you're going to go hourly, and some of you are going to switch the salary and like give up everything for a company. It's even worse in my opinion, because now it's not even an hourly rate. They're like, we own you 40, 50 hours a week for the next 3 or 5 years. I did it for 12 years. And I thought making 80 to 100 grand was like phenomenal money. It's crap when you get down to it, because I didn't have any freedom. I definitely wasn't financially free, and I couldn't take off and do anything I wanted with my kids. And I had to make that leap. And I did it while I worked. I door knocked. I went and knocked on doors, and I wasn't guaranteed a damn thing. But like, I got to be honest with you, I was so miserable in 12 years. It was much easier to take that risk, because I could go back to my job anytime I want. And you know what? The day I left my job, they replaced me just like that after 12 years. If any of you are out there doing the corporate job or something like that, I'm just understanding. When you're young, I get it. You go, okay, I get $15 an hour. I work X amount of hours a week. I get it done. But you get one wholesale deal, put 10 grand in your pocket, it will change how you look at money. But the problem is, most of you are waiting till you get that 10 grand to make that shift. Here's the difference. You have to believe in it and do it before. Otherwise, you will never get there. I've been there. He's been there. A lot of people are on that side of the equation. You're just going to have to figure a way to get there. If you truly want to get free, you're going to have to take a risk. The day you were born, you already are in a big risk field. So what do you got to lose? As long as you got a roof over your head and you got ramen noodles going on, I want to hear it. I see how some of you guys eat. You can give up some of your Starbucks coffee. Just go get it. I'm telling you, if I made that decision, not 20 years, but at least 15 years earlier in my life, but you know what? I wasn't mature enough. I'm the first to admit it. And I didn't have a YouTube channel like this, for God's sakes.
Didn't have YouTube.
That's true.
But here's the thing. Okay, he talks about, I didn't have YouTube. You didn't have 30,000. You didn't have all those wholesalers around, and you could buy a house in Fort Lauderdale for 40 grand.
Yeah, but that was a lot of that was a lot of money back then. Like
Inflation
guys, listen,
adjusted. Inflation
I
adjusted.
know, but I'm telling you,
You adjust
price.
inflation.
But price, I thought it was expensive as hell in
How much is
2003.
the 3.2 off house lowest? Inflation adjusted. Right, it's a lot different.
Listen,
it's a different market.
Listen, real estate's it's always expensive when you're in it.
I know.
But here's the key part: we're not looking for expensive houses. You're looking for ugly, beat up houses that need help. So I'm not telling you to shop it like a realtor, but guys, it was expensive in 2003. It's even more expensive in 2024. What's it going to be in 2025, 26, 27, 28? The reality is inflation. It is ugly. I think it's going to be around for a long time. And here's the reality. People who own assets in the long run benefit massively from inflation. End of story. So you want to get in a position where you can get some of that bread so you can own assets. So when inflation hits, you go up with it. So if inflation goes up 9, 10%, I'll take it all day long.
You ain't wrong.
I'm not really complaining about inflation because it kind of helps me out.
No.
It sucks at the grocery store, but like you guys have been to a restaurant, it's absolutely, we had some dinners. I'm just like, how can lunch be $250?
No, we had that event in Dallas.
Yeah.
We went to this fancy sushi place.
Yeah.
It was $20 for a piece of sushi.
It was good. It
had
a
wagyu,
piece.
It was wagyu. It was
Yeah.
Shout out
Bluefin tuna.
Uchi Dallas. That was insane.
It was really good.
But yeah, okay. So reverse trying for dollars. All right. What I'm talking about here is you guys can make $500 an hour. And you'll go out here on the lottery and do all the stupid stuff. You go your Mega Millions and all that crap. When you just put a sticky note out, you got your T Swift in your ears. You're having a good time. You ain't cold calling. Like, I'll tell you this, as a guy that's done pretty much any marketing strategy, you too, right? Because I've made you cold call in some live streams. You know that. And you're good. You're actually really good on it.
It's not my forte,
No,
but I don't mind talking to people.
Here's the thing. If I could go listen to my music in my earphones and just put sticky notes on houses, and then I get the inbound leads to me, it's a lot easier and way more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay. I might be a crazy guy, but when I used to put bandit signs out, I had a blast. All right. I had a mix of Kanye, Lil Baby, Da Baby back then, Drake, and probably Ski Mask. You know, I had that nice little mix in high school.
Well, Justin Bieber too.
21 Savage was coming out. He was amazing back then. Post Malone, right? No Justin Bieber. Like I had my mix going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was jamming. It was on my hustle music. And I was putting the headphones and I put the bandit sign. People used to hug me like, what are you doing? Had my headphones in. I put a hat on. I was chilling. Because it was that is way more enjoyable than going out here and cold calling all day. Now I'm getting a lot of Big X the Plug was not a thing back then. Love Big X the Plug. He's great. You've listened to him. You know who I'm talking about.
Listen, I'm not a giant Taylor
Big X the
Swift
Plug
fan.
is like, he sounds like Notorious B.I.G., but he's not as good as him, but he's really good. But basically, like I was jamming and putting bandit signs out and making a ton of money. It was way more enjoyable than cold calling. I'll be completely honest with you. Way easier. And the point of what I'm talking to you is like, it's just, their strategies are way easier than cold calling, okay? I'll be completely honest with you. Way easier strategy. You will make more money and work less. And you'll end up being a lot happier. And here's the thing. Let's talk about reverse trying for dollars for a second, right? If I'm to scale cold calling, I have to hire people and pay them money, which sucks.
And if you don't add a cold call yourself and you hire other people,
you're done too.
You're gonna get schooled.
Yeah.
I've never met someone that hired cold call and go, I got 15 leads loaded. They locked and loaded. I got 4 or 5 contracts. People will work you.
No way.
You're in a society that basically preys on people to know what they're doing. The minute you reach out for cold callers, VAs will inbox you. They will hammer you, and they will tell you the greatest thing. That's why they're unemployed, trying to get you to hire them. Meanwhile, they work for 20 or 30 other wholesalers, and they're just going to tell you, I just need 1 more month. And you're going to go 3 months with them, and you're going to be $2,000 or $3,000 lighter, and you're going to have to go back to me and Zach, and we're going to tell you, if you want to be successful in cold calling, You've got to go out and get your first 3 to 5 deals in cold calling yourself before you ever hire anyone else, because you don't know how to manage them. You don't understand the KPIs, and you don't understand the business of cold calling. So why not just hire someone that will just take care of everything for me? They're going to take care of you mostly in your bank account, and you're going to be more frustrated and pissed off after a few months, and you're going to come right back here and go, I don't know where I went wrong. I go, well, you did the complete opposite of what I told you to do. So pick up that phone and start dialing. Can't pay your rent?
Oh boy.
Dialing. Your girlfriend's dating somebody else? Pick up the phone, start dialing.
What?
Jordan Belfort.
How did your girlfriend start dating somebody else?
Well, he says if your girlfriend's
like tired of you, is trying to leave you, then
left
you.
Well, I'm just mixing it up a little bit.
Oh Lord. Okay. But what I'm talking about here is you can hire people or just have them for free to go out here and drive. And so what I'm talking about is what I call like leverage lists. And this is a thing that I've been kind of bigger on this year, and then I've been talking about more and more. But like, guys, if you could find people to drive for dollars with you, not for you, but with you. I'm talking about this at the event a lot. Like if you can find 4 or 5 kids to go out here and drive for dollars for you, and then you can have your team call them or have them call or whatever you want. They can give you driving for dollars leads if you're virtual, and then you guys can reach out to them, and then they do half the work, you do the other half of the work. You can get you get hundreds of driving for dollars leads for free, even if you don't even live in the area. Like tomorrow, if tomorrow I can find I'm gonna make one Instagram post, and I can get 10 kids in Dallas willing to drive for dollars for me, 5 hours a day. I'll have my team call them, or I'll have my team text them or whatever, and we'll split them 50-50. Like I can do that. And I don't have to do any of the work. I don't have to drive because I can utilize my expertise with buyers for their expertise of actually being in the area and driving.
And the software is already there for you.
Yeah, DMs. I get for me personally, I'll just have a extra user on.
We got to shoot an
DL
entire
machine?
video on like bird dogs.
Show
them how to do it, train them,
Well,
show
here's the
you how to
thing.
use it.
So we like the bird dogs, but like we've kind of shifted the way we look at bird dogs. We don't like bird dogs anymore per se, because what do bird dogs do? They're dogs, right? And what I mean that is they got ADHD. Have you seen a dog at a park? You throw it a ball and they see a squirrel and then they go to the squirrel, right? They're not focused on the object. And so you want to find wholesalers, because wholesalers, if they don't get a deal in a month or maybe 2, they'll keep going. They're going to quit. They're not quitters. Bird dogs are kind of not in it like completely, so you got to be a little more careful with it. So just be very, very, very careful. But guys, I've been telling you, leverage your lists. Like have other people do half the work and you do the other half. Like I want to make this the year of JVing and joint venturing and the year of just working with other people. Because if you can use your expertise of buyers, I just see so many beginner wholesalers lose deals because they don't have any buyers. Heck, I saw another guy today. He lost a wholesaling deal from me, just a greedy guy.
Yeah.
He just decided to circumvent the guy that brought in the buyer and didn't want to pay him half the deal. Guys, when somebody makes a post about that about you, like you'll never do another JV.
You won't work with us.
Your reputation is ruined, because guess what you have to do? If I look up that guy's name on Facebook, that post is going to pop up. If that guy sends me a JV, I ain't doing deal. I ain't doing deal with him.
There's dedicated sites on, I believe, Facebook and Instagram of people that regularly stick it to people, especially in JVs. I'm not going to promote the site but I'm just telling you, when someone does something bad, you'll see hundreds of comments pile up on the same thing. Oh, he did it to me in this market. She did it to me in this market.
Yeah.
And once your picture gets plastered out there on the internet, it's just a matter of time. Everybody knows about you. And to me, it's not worth screwing somebody for 1 or 2 times or like any time. But I'm just telling you, remember when they have you bend the rules, like, oh, don't worry, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to leave a deposit. I'll just sign the assignment or whatever it is. Stick to your guns. If you just stick to your guns, you'll avoid almost all the scammers. It's when they get you to go, no, everything's good, man. I'm good. We good?
Or here's the worst one. Are you ready? I'm a religious man.
Yeah.
Once someone adds credibility as them being religious, run. I'm not even talking about like if they use that as credibility, like, hey, you can trust me because I go to church. Don't. I'm just being honest with you. Those are the worst scam artists. Not people that are a part of religion. People that say you should trust me because
because I'm so and so.
I'm in this religion. Some of the most trustworthy, loyal people are Christians, Muslims, Sikhs,
Like
Hindi,
we don't
but
care.
they don't tell you should trust me because I'm a Muslim. Like, don't. That's a weird thing to say, right? Hey,
It's
trust me because of my
flag.
reputation. This is my religion, and this is I'm faithful for it. But like, don't say trust me because of I'm a Christian. Like, don't do that. Once you hear that, be very careful.
So
the worst scam artists I've ever seen do that.
Yeah. So we try to teach you, watch what people do. You can listen to what they say, but if you rely on what they say, you're going to get killed in this business. So I've been there. He's been there. Most of you watching have been there, and some of you are about to be there. When they try to scoot around certain things, it's just this one time. Don't worry. It's going to bite you in the butt. Because you know what? Some of you are so eager to get a deal done, you try to bend one rule. And the problem is, not only you're not going to get a deal, you're going to lose your motivated seller because this person stretched you out. And you're better off when they say, listen, I can't leave a $3,000 non-refundable deposit. Why? Because they're not a real buyer. And they're trying to tell you, I'm fake, but I'm going to BS my way and see if you buy my crap. And if you do, I'm not going to say it's your own fault because I've been there, but I'm just telling you, if the paperwork doesn't add up and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, stop listening to what they're saying. Go, listen, if you want to move forward, you need to sign this contract and you need to leave this $3,000 or $5,000 non-refundable deposit right now. If not, they're telling you, I'm not a real cash buyer. I'm wasting your time.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I can't mention this person's name. One of the biggest people out here on YouTube, that's all I'm going to say. They always claim to be like, hey, you have to go in church every Sunday. You have to do that. And they used it as their pitch. And then they got exposed with some messages they sent to people. It's just what people say and what they do are so different.
It's true.
Am I right? But so I'm just being honest. I'm not saying if you're part of a religious group and that's who you are, that probably makes you a way better person in business, right? Because if you use those fundamentals, you're going to be great. But if you're trying to sell people on the fact that, yes, I'm this, I have found, especially these people online, that they kind of use it as a shield. Because the wrong people go in there, use it as a shield of why they're a good person, and then facts come out. I ain't saying much, but we've seen. I showed you. I was like, you're like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
We've seen some crazy things. And so there was another person I showed you, right? He scammed a lot of people of millions of dollars and used religion as a shield. The only reason I'm saying this is I do not want to see you guys get scammed. This guy got scammed today of it, tens of thousands of dollars. Guys, I'll be honest, the worst thing you're going to find from me and Rick online of us screwing somebody is somebody came on here, sent us a JV deal, and said, you know what, I'm really sure we can get a deal done. I'm excited about this. We bring a buyer through. The deal ends up being a fire damage that the seller never told us about.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, hey, we can't do the deal. But man, you said you find a buyer. Well, you never told us it was fire damaged.
And I never took a nickel from you either.
You never told me that there was termites in the house. Well, I mean, come on, man. Like, that's the worst. And I've had no bad posts about us on our JVs. Like, that's the worst that's going to happen. All right. And so I'm just being honest. Like, be very careful. See, a lot of people get screwed.
In fact, your gut intuition is usually dead on.
Well, there's some people that have this intuition where they always trust people, and you got to be very careful.
So in this business, unfortunately, you can't. It's paperwork. You can have a relationship and talk to them, and be a super nice person, but like, listen, when you get to paperwork, you got to put up or shut up, because 9 times out of 10, there are other wholesalers trying to stall you to go get another buyer, but they don't want to be. They want to obligate you, but they don't want to be obligated. So think about it. They're optioning you. And if you get optioned in wholesaling, you're going to get killed. So the biggest thing we can find is we have to understand, am I dealing with a wholesaler or not? I'd rather be brutally honest with me and just tell me. But we're in an age where no one will even tell you, everybody's a cash buyer. So the word cash buyer does not mean what it meant 15, 20 years ago when I started this business. You could ask people cash buyer. Everyone's like, there was very few of them at the time. Now, everybody's a cash buyer, plus every 15, 16-year-old kid out there. So you've got to look past the word cash buyer. How do you do it? Proof of funds, show me addresses, show me HUDs. And if they can't do it, they're BSing you. Don't fall for it. And if you're a gullible person, just admit it, tell the truth. I know I was, and go, okay, here's my rules. And if they don't pass these rules, I'm not going to trust them and let them through my shield. End of story. Or better yet, recruit your title company and just pay them a few extra bucks, pay them $100 extra a deal. They'll do it for you. They're brutal about that stuff.
Or here's the thing, like if you JV, if you use our stuff, it's almost impossible to get screwed. And what do I mean by this? If you use our purchase and sale agreement, you're protected from a seller doing something stupid, right?
Especially the
Now let's talk about the assignment of contract. Okay. If you use our assignment of contract, it's very, very, very difficult to go out here and get screwed from your buyer. Now, with a JV agreement, it's very hard to get screwed if you disclose everything to the title company. A title company has all their ducks in a row. And what I mean by this is if you tell a title company that this guy needs to get half my deal and you put it in a piece of paper, a JV agreement in writing and send it to them, they're now liable if they don't give you that 50%. And now you can sue them for the money. You have a path of getting the money. But if you just, quote, trust the process, bro, it's not good. And so I can tell you is if you can control the title company, you control the wholesaling deal. If you do not control the title company and you don't let the title company know you have a JV agreement signed, you don't control the deal, right?
Yeah.
So the title company is the key here. If you do not control this title company, you're screwed. Like it's over.
You guys actually do a good job on the purchase and sales agreement because you just use ours. It's pretty straightforward. Most of you screw up the assignment. If they won't sign your assignment agreement, run. They're telling or
the JV agreement.
Yeah, that one too. I was getting to that. But when they don't want to sign the assignment agreement or the JV agreement, believe them. It means they're trying a way to screw you. If they're going to we are very transparent on that. And when they want to dance around, ask yourself, do I want to do business with someone this stupid? I'm sorry. Every time I've ever had a problem is when I used an outside title company. I mean, you're at best. If 25% of them go through, I'd be surprised. Number two, when they try to walk around your assignment agreement. I actually put a clause in there to protect all you on the assignment agreement because I know you all love when they sign the assignment agreement, but then they don't leave that non-refundable deposit. In that agreement, they only have, I believe you put in an expiration in there. And I tell everybody by the end of the business day or 24 hours. And you just write that in there. That way, if you let them suck you into signing it and option you, and they don't leave the money because the money is the real commitment, then you're no longer obligated to them. And I had somebody drag me out 2 months on a deal before. I go, I will never do this again. So all mine expire. So if I give it to you in the morning, it expires at 5 p.m. that day if you don't show up with the money. So just use that. And on the JV agreement, like, do you really want someone that just wants to do you don't know these people. You can't do a handshake. And even when I do a deal outside my business, people I've done business along, I do a JV agreement. And every one of you guys that we've done a JV agreement, we do JV agreements. No, we trust you. No, we want a JV agreement. We want to protect our end. That's how real professionals operate. So guys, make sure you stick to your guns on JV agreements and assignments. And when they want to alter them, manipulate them, or use theirs, believe them. You're about to be screwed. I'm just telling you, you're better off going and find somebody else that will cooperate and work with you because you can't beg people to buy your properties like this.
You can't. So don't get screwed on a deal, guys. Another option here is SMS. And I've talked about this forever, but there's free SMS strategies out here. You can use Google Voice and just send text out. People use Phone Burner now. There's all these other little messages, and we're going to compile something in the future, kind of these other services outside for SMS. We still like SMSZach.com. There are some workings. We're working with them on that, try to help it out, and we will announce this next quarter. It'll be this year. I can't say much, but me and Rick have been working on something big. And all I could say about I don't like teasing people, right? But I will let you know that I've heard your concerns about cold calling. We've heard your concerns about SMS, and as you know, on Flip with Rick and on this channel, right? We come up with new marketing channels that have never been done before by no guru. No one's even thought about this stuff. No one thinks about the stuff that we've done. ROS postcards, handwritten postcards. reverse trying for dollars.
All stuff we've tested out
Basically,
beforehand too.
the scaling of probate marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Government lists, right?
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, we've come up with stuff that no other person wholesaling real estate when it comes to finding digital bandit signs have really ever talked about or ever even done. JV deals on a big end, right? And what me and Rick are about to do is create our own marketing channel that's going to come out. It's going to basically be free for most people watching this, unless you can make it paid if you want. And it's going to be insane. And that's all we can say about it. Is it's going to change the way. So I see a lot of people struggling with SMS, struggling with cold calling, and they want a new marketing channel. And this is going to be a channel that's going to be permanently changing. I don't like calling it game changer, but it's a game changer, right? And so the last two game changing things that me and Rick have sat down and talked about. Two. We've only talked about two in the history of Flip with Rick on this channel. We've had three quote game changing things. Game changing thing one was freewholesaling.com.
That was
changing
big.
Two was AI. Game changing three was dmzax.com free skip tracing. Right.
That was huge.
That we had a big hand on of helping out. Right. Now, number four is going to be something that me and Rick have completely been working on for a very long time. And it's going to be, again, free for the industry. It's going to be, it's going to change everything. And no guru even knows about it. And they're all thinking like, what? Oh, crap.
Well, and that's one of the reasons, guys, we didn't like jumping into AI for specifically wholesaling or real estate investing.
It's sad we're the only wholesaler.
It's like, remember that first car that was made? It was like, you had to wind the engine up. And it's like, but AI gets smarter. It gets faster. It does incredible things. You do not want to be on that first total wagon that comes through. We know that. You let all the other gurus jump on it, do what they're, it's so like, that's great. Anytime you know when a new model of a car comes out or like a boat, like that's not the one you want to jump on because that one is going to be outdated like so fast. So we can't tell you everything, but
I will spoil this.
Yeah.
So we exposed the three things, right? The new marketing strategy combines all three that we've talked about together and way more. So think about that for read between the lines of what we said. Think about the three big things that have changed wholesaling that we've only come out on the channel on. The new thing's going to incorporate all that stuff. And it's free.
It's free.
So just think about that, right? Is it a system? I don't know. Is it this thing that I'm going to try to sell you? No. And so all I'm saying is get ready for it's going to be probably after the 30-day wholesaling challenge. Once that happens, wholesaling's never going to be the same after what we release. And your guru doesn't even know what we're talking about. I guarantee they have no idea.
The stuff they're using.
And they're never going to release it. And so this thing is going to be insane. And I'm really excited for it. There's nothing for me I'm just going to say, just hold tight. But just know, I hear your cries about SMS. I hear your cries about cold calling. Yeah. I hear your cries about this, and I'm here to help change it even more. And so I'm really excited for it. We're not going to talk about too much. We've been killing ourselves at night working on it. It's going to be really cool. And so I'm just saying we're really excited about that. And we want to talk about that later. We're going to let Filter Plus people probably beta test it first. I got leaked out from them, so we got to be careful. So just SMS is the option. We have this thing cooking that we're going to work on for you guys, and we're really excited. The next part here is like probate mailers. I love probate mailers.
Yeah.
It's another inbound lead strategy that's not cold calling that you get a lot of great deals and a lot of big deals, right?
And big profits. And that's, I always tell people, I go, man, if you could just take 1 or 2 probates a year, some of you, it's like doing 5 or 6 wholesale deals all at once. Now, it's not super sexy fast. This is why most, I guess, guru coaches don't teach it because it's not an instant gratification. So I always teach you to run a marathon versus a sprint. If you could wait 6 or 8 months and do a $50,000 or $100,000 deal, would you do it? Because that's what I do on a regular basis on probates. But I only get a few leads. Honestly, you guys could work 2 or 3 jobs and easily handle this. And the really cool part is it's not expensive. Yes, you got to invest a little bit of time in training, but we already have that taken care of for you. Guys, listen, probates is, unfortunately, it is a fact of life. It's never going away. I know you're like, but can't we do some sort of digital way to connect with them? Honestly, the old school ways still work. The probate mailers, the letter, which at freewholesaling.com, we give you the actual template on how to use it. I encourage you to kind of put a little bit of spin so we all don't have duplicate letters out there. And guys, a good old fashioned cold call turned into a warm call has an incredible effect on these deals. It just gets them to them faster. Not everyone's crazy about it, but the reality is this works. Our average deal on a probate is exceeding $40K now, $40,000. That's 4 times 3. I always said it was 2.5 times your average assignment of contract. I would say it's much closer to 3 to 3.5 in our current market. Guys, don't overlook probates. I know I beat them to death. The only reason I did them is because I started too late doing them. I waited 10 years until I really attacked probates. I did them all by accident. And I originally did them through basically driving for dollars. And we would find a dilapidated, beat up house and find out it was a probate. I'm like, how the hell do I do these things? I waited till the end and I figured out after a year of training how to cut through the red tape and get these properties bought before it's done. So if you're not doing probates, please consider it. It is, I hate the word game changer, but like anyone who does wholesaling on a regular basis gets really excited when they do probate deals. Also, if you're even interested in creative financing, a probate deal is the easiest, fastest, quickest way to do a creative financing deal. Hands down, I have all the proof. I have all the mathematics for it. I close on these deals on a very regular basis. You're taking over the mortgage of a deceased person. You get if the person wants to sell it and it's that type of property, you get very little resistance on the common objections you get in creative financing, like when you're going to cash it out, what happens if you don't make the payment. All that is pretty much addressed in the probate. So if you're looking to do your first creative financing, look no further than probates. To me, that is the beginner strategy if you want to do creative financing. Don't go out and just hunt for creative financing if you've never done wholesaling before. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I don't have to do wholesaling if I do that. You're going to have to go back and get a regular job if you do it. But if you want to do creative financing and wholesaling, if you hunt in probates, you will find people where you can easily take over the mortgage. In fact, it to me is the easiest creative financing you do. You get very little resistance on it. And honestly, they want to get rid of the property. They don't care who takes over the mortgage as long as they're cashed out and they're done with it. And honestly, most of these properties need a lot of updating and a lot of help. So don't overlook probates.
I see a lot of people overlooking probate. It drives me crazy. So be very careful with probates if you don't know the objections of it. There are ways to go around when people say, oh, you got to go through probate to get there. Just be very careful. That's all I can say. Go through freewholesaling.com. I mean, we got plenty of stuff at the Flipbook channel on this too. Just be very careful with this. Top is regular direct mail works. We got mailingmastery.com, right? That works really well. That's definitely a good one to be using too. On top of this too, I do want to talk about this because I don't think we've addressed this too much. There's been a big push in wholesaling too. Like I've said, what do we call llamas, right? We add an animal, we add a sexy name, and we add something that's been used before. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about these new wholesaling softwares that like, what they do is should I mention so what people do is they white label software. White labeling software is the new thing. And I think it's a very dangerous play to do right now in wholesaling. And I want to talk about this for a second because I'm seeing a lot of it happening. Where people are like, oh, let's create a software to make money. We can sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They try to sell the company. We're seeing these softwares just pop up everywhere. To make a software, it's like $4 or $5 million to put in. And
it's a huge investment.
It's the time for us. Like we'd make our own software too, but like it's not worth my time because I'm not a software guy. I'm a wholesaler, right?
It's not our passion.
And here's the solution. They find a company and it's called white labeling. And so PropStream doesn't do this. That's basically what they do is they go to PropStream. They say, hey, can I make a website called ZachStream? And I'll pay you $50 per signed up person, but you don't know it. We use all your data. We just copy your website, but we give you $50 for the licensing. It's called white labeling. It happens a lot, right? And so a lot of these people are doing right now is there's 4 big AI companies in real estate. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get in trouble.
It's easy to look it up.
But there's one in particular I know very well. And I've looked into it, right? I've looked into, hey, what is this AI thing real?
Or approached on a daily basis.
What I mean by this is, how do I say this the right way? people have been making claims that AI can figure out on a data set which one's a good deal and which one's not a good deal. Like they'll have a list of high equity and say, this is going to be a $40,000 deal and this one's not. This guy's going to be a good cash buyer. This one's not. I said, if AI could do it right now, I'd love that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? You give me a list of 100,000 houses in Houston, and you'll pick me 30, and each one's going to be a deal. Let's do it, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I did my testing. We've looked at it. It turns out that AI can't figure that out right now, and it probably never will. It's crazy. Like I said last live stream, can AI figure out exactly if you're a click or not on a date? Now, me and Rick combined have been on a decent amount of dates, and in our years alive. And what I could tell you is,
it's a jungle out there.
No, but what I'm talking about is like you'll go on a date with someone, and it seems on paper amazing. It just doesn't work, and then it doesn't seem good, and then you meet them. But it's like vibing with friends, right? You meet a lot of people. Some people are just you can talk to all day. They're a great friend. But you don't know what works, right?
Don't they use AI on like all these?
They try like
all these online.
If AI was real, it'll tell you this is your soulmate, and this is right. It doesn't. You can't. Okay, I don't explain it. People like using AI to figure out who's the best draft pick in the NFL. It still doesn't work, right? AI should predict March Madness to a T, right?
They can get more analytic numbers.
They can, but has AI predicted March Madness perfectly? No. There's variables that you just can't predict.
So here's the problem. Like you've got to understand where AI can help support you, but you can't let it cross the fundamentals of wholesaling. I've already told you, if you give me a prospect list of 1,000 leads and you start looking at the address, go, that block, I don't know. I'm going to skip that one. You have no idea who the home run hitters are on that list. You know how you figure it out? This is shocking news. You have to go through and contact every lead. There is no replacement for it. Is there support? Yes. But when you start trying to pre-label your leads, you're going to get in trouble because you're going to start skipping people. If you get 1,000, the guy that calls 1,000 leads and the other one that uses a software program go, I'm going to narrow it down to these 20 high ideal leads, you're going to get smoked.
Yep.
There is no software in the world that can do this. And guys, listen, we're approached with all these companies. It's the other problem I have with white labeling. I'm just going to tell you out there. A lot of these people that take it, they claim ownership. Like they created it. It's their technology. It's not like just go and look in deep into it and you can see, and you'll see similarities in the site. I'm not knocking it. And I think it's smart. They don't go out and create their own AI company, but for God's sakes, please don't take ownership for your own software when you have nothing to create it. We're transparent. We tell you, hey, here's PropStream. Here's Batch. Here's Deal Machine. These are the companies we use. You guys know the owners and we've been using them in our business for X amount of years. I don't want to own software. I am not a geeky guy. It's never my specialty is working with motivated sellers. So if I can take my motivated seller skills and pair it up with a software that's transparent and tells me how it works, that's great. Number two, when you white label is like AI, honestly, it needs to be updated, I believe, weekly, if not monthly. And it's going to be impossible to do on like a white label type of deal. But hey, just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. I'm just saying, I don't want to drive the first AI model because it's going to be, I remember when the internet came out the first time and like you had to sign like a 3-year contract. You do not want to do that in AI. So we've been working on something, but we have to test. And someone's got to put a lot of money behind it and they got to constantly work on it. So we're never going to own the company because we're wholesalers. I'm not. Guys, I tried software once, an absolute nightmare. I will never, ever do that again. And I learned my lesson. And I think it was God's way of telling me, Rick, you need to help people out with houses. Leave the software to the guys and the geeks in the back. And I'm not using geek as a derogatory term. It's impressive what they do. But I don't know how to write Java. I know how to drink Java. I don't understand how to code stuff. I don't want to know how to do all this stuff. It's expensive, time consuming. And then the advent of apps is even a whole nother world. So I'm just telling you guys, look at what you're getting. And the other problem is a lot of these wholesalers are so good at marketing. They're like, hey, give me an app or something that can look at a list and sort it out for you. You can't pre-sort. you can do generalizations, but you can't take a list of 500, 1,000, or 10,000 prospects and expect AI just to separate and give you the highest, best probability leads. You just can't do it. It's impossible. You either have to call them, you have to reverse driving for dollars, door knock them, or mail them. If you think AI can replace that, you are going to get sold so much stuff, you're going to run out of money.
So yeah, I'm getting people saying that they can find the deal or they can dispo the deal. It ain't working. Okay. Now there's one company that everyone's using to white label now. It's out. I can't give the state, but it's out in the it's out east. That's all I can say. And people have been it's kind of a smaller one. Can't really talk about it, but like people are just white labeling it, and they're very good at white labeling the software for you, and they're just claiming to do it right. And so you got to be very careful with this because you're just getting upcharged. You're getting data that's not the best, in my opinion, after my testing, and just be very careful with this. And that's all I can say. I don't want to go in a tiff here, but you're being white labeled, and that's the new thing now. And here's the problem with white labeling. And let me just be completely honest with you. I'm not trying to go after anyone's software like this, but let's use, for example, Batch Leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I use Batch Leads, they're a bigger company, and they pour millions of dollars in their research and development. If I white label something from Batch Leads, I'm not going to spend $1 million on the research and development, right?
Correct.
Right now, because they'd be a white label, and Batch Leads is not white label to the best of my knowledge. I'm pretty sure they don't do it right. Here's the problem: when you got that, all the profits go to the person. Then that's what they keep. They're not pouring all that cash back into research to make the software better. And that's the problem with these software. And it might be neck and neck for the first year, but after 10 years, companies that start doing free skip tracing, companies that create drawing for dollars apps, like Batch Leads, they put R&D, they created a free drawing for dollars app for everyone. It was called Batch Driven. Now it's free for anyone who has Batch Leads. Like after 10 years, you see a huge gap between these software companies. And so what I'm just saying is, be very careful. I'm seeing this new flow talking about it, right? And just be very, very careful. That's all I can say here. I'm getting a lot of people getting scammed from these terrible softwares. Don't be doing it. And obviously you can do JV deals on top of that. But
guys, these softwares are not going to replace like wholesale. You got to learn the fundamentals. If you can find a piece of software that will help support, do some of the monotonous marketing tasks, I'm all for it. But you really think you can trust a software to pick on a list which are the winners and the losers? You're doing yourself a disservice. It has never been. I don't see AI ever being that smart, because it would have to figure out the dating apps first, because that's basically what you have no idea what people's intentions are. You just know either they're behind on their mortgage or they're on the water shutoff list. And I agree. If they're on all three lists, I don't need a software to tell me that might be a high probability. I've had people on 6 or 7 lists. They still have they don't want to sell their house.
So we're getting asked, tell me what you're talking about. So I don't know. I'm getting scammed. If they're claiming AI is doing all the work for you, you're getting scammed. AI is like that religion shield. Trust it's AI. It'll do everything for you. No.
It's a soft VA on the back end right now, and everyone's trying to see what it can do and how it can support you. But like it's never going to replace you. If it can help you get to a customer faster, okay, that's a good discussion to have. But like this thing where it's going to replace you as a wholesaler, it's never going to happen, guys.
So we're working on some things, but I'm just telling you guys, just be very, very careful with this. I've been very, very, very into how AI is playing out in wholesaling. It's very slow, but it's going to get crazy. But it's not there yet where it's doing all the. What AI is going to do is going to be very similar to what computers do for humans. Okay. Does the computer do the work for you? No, it just makes you more efficient. So now if you're an accountant, you're not on the calculator doing all this, right? You can just put in the Excel, and a computer aids your mental capabilities.
Yes.
AI is like that too. It's just another level of it. It's going to aid your mental capabilities of doing wholesaling. It's not going to do it for you. Okay. It's like when we went from a horse to a car. It doesn't move for me, right? But you still have to operate the thing, right? You still have to use effort.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, it's like you still have to do the work. It just gets a little easier, and it just changed the way you do it. So just FYI, I just want to let everyone know AI is being thrown out everywhere. Be very, very careful. it's here to aid us. And I know exactly the direction it's going, and we're working on this. But it should be it's a direction where it should be free to the people, not a direction where it's thousands of dollars for you to even be able to even have the opportunity to use it. That is not how I operate. That's not how you operate.
And guys,
that's not the way wholesaling operates.
And look at Google, Meta, all these. They're all incorporating the AI in it. So here we go.
Free.
Wholesale gurus again are now going to find a way to charge you for something that's free anyways. So if you go out and buy it up front, you're going to go, God dang it. Rick and Zach will probably just wind up just giving it to us anyway. So I'm just saying it's every company is incorporating it within it. So if you're going to do a separate, I don't think you're really beating the curb all that much. And honestly, a lot of the technology between Chat GPT, BART, all this stuff, it's already there. We've shown you how to take bits and pieces of it to help you be a better wholesaler. Ask yourself at the end of the day, is it making you a better wholesaler, or are you fulfilling like this, hey, he or she said it would solve this problem for me. Unless you have definitive proof in your business, don't pay for it, because here's what they always say. Just give it, you're going to have to give it like 6 months. It's got to learn your system.
$6,000. You just got to give it $6,000.
I'm just telling you, every company is going to incorporate AI in their products, and the good ones will survive. And the ones who try to sell it separately, they're going to get killed. It is no difference in wholesaling. But remember, we've been on a mission for the last 20 years of wholesaling. Is always a pay for play game. Give me 10 grand, give me 20 grand. And what did we do? We just gave it away for free. So I love that AI goes the same direction we do. I'm just telling you, don't be the sucker that buys it first, because you're going to get an old, outdated model, and you're going to go, man, I gave thousands of dollars away, and it's like free and everything else we do. So just use your brain, guys. It cannot sort that list for you. It can help label list. I'm okay with that. If you have 1,000 leads, call your 1,000 leads. If you think you can get it down to 20 or 30, you will never last in wholesaling. Honestly, I've had people call me and chew me out, and I've made 100 grand off the lead because I followed up with it. So I always teach you not to prejudge. It's good in life. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. But if we're going to have AI try to do that for us, guys, if it was that easy, I mean, seriously, think about this. If it was that easy, that's all I need to say on that. It's just, you have to put in the work. That's why wholesaling's special. That's why only a set amount of people can do it. And that's why you can make so much money doing it and become financially free and get freedom of your time.
Exactly. So I'm going to say something. And because I'm going to be out for a week, I can say this. So you might kick me off. But if I was going to really do a big blast and exit wholesaling, right, what I would do, just being honest with you, right, because I see people doing this. These people are in it, like the fly-by-night wholesaling gurus and software guys, right? This is what I'm seeing. I would make a video called Don't Cold Call Anymore, right? I would integrate an AI software that does text to AI, voice to AI responses.
Yeah.
Put ChatGPT kind of on the API. And what I'm going to do is cold call, but have the AI do the cold calling for me. And it will work. AI right now can cold call. Hear me out. AI today can cold call for you. No, it can.
I know it can.
It can. So let me talk about this. It can. And what I do is I sell the crap out of it. I'd probably sell $6 million of it.
Yep.
Collect all the, because it costs me a penny, right? It costs me like maybe $2 per person, and charge each guy $1,000 a month for it. And you'll get a lot of deals, like RVMs, right? You'll get a lot of deals.
Yep.
Then the lawsuits start popping up because it's illegal. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect all my money. I'm going to go fly to a country that doesn't extradite or doesn't, do the judgments. And then I'm going to live free.
I heard Portugal's nice.
There's a lot of countries that
Portugal's very generous
when they start getting lawsuits. And that's how I would do it. I take my $6 million and just walk away. But I don't do that, right? But you'll see this. And so what I mean by this is, I know that sounds like it's a funny thing to say, but wholesalers are doing this now. They're creating softwares. They're telling you AI is going to do all the work for you. And don't just trust me, bro. AI can cold call. You've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
We've both seen it. But if you are not a human being and you're sending out a message, it is an auto dialer. That is what the definition of it is. And the Telephone Communication Protections Act and recent FCC laws going after AI cold calling and AI texting. You will go to not jail, but you will get $50, $60, $70, $100,000 fines if you get caught, which you definitely will get caught
due to the
because
volume.
AI can cold call for you, but it can also get caught if it's the right person. And so what I want you to understand here is you're going to get pitched a lot of things in the future. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Now, same thing with freewholesaling.com. We got freewholesaling.com right here. Is freewholesaling.com too good to be true? Yes. It's a $7,000 course to get for free. So what we do is we let a reputation back it up. That's it. So it seems too good to be true, but I'm not charging you, so go try it, right?
Try it out.
Now, same with AI cold calling. Find 10, 15 guys doing it, read the laws and see what happens, right? You just be very wary of it. So I get when people are wary, go to freewholesaling.com. It seems like a scam, right?
Mm-hmm.
I show checks. I try to show as much as possible. Just be very careful with these AI cold calling things coming out. It works, but it is massively illegal, and I don't want to see you get a $20,000 fine because you will get caught.
It's great in theory, guys. It's not legal.
We know a lot of people, RVMs got caught for that, and you'll get completely caught with the AI. So just be very, very, very careful. Okay. And so I'm getting pitched it all the time. And the people pitching me are not doing it anymore.
They just tell us how rich you can get doing it. I'm like, you don't know our channel very well, do you? Guys, I'm looking to run a marathon. If this was solely about getting paid going on the internet talking to you, it would be easy. But I choose to do the way that I just felt like I was put on this earth to do. So if I can't sleep at night, then I ain't going to do it. And honestly, if I don't use it in my business, the problem is the reality in wholesaling, there's so many bad ideas out there. There's so many bad actors. I don't even call them to the plate anymore. Like they just stand on their own. And so in fact, I think in the last 5 years, like there's just been a mass exodus in this business. Wholesaling's always worked. And if someone can't make wholesaling work today, you got to ask, did they actually do wholesaling back then? No, they were pure speculators. I've been doing this 21 years. Nothing's changed in this business for me. Does the market change? Yes. But wholesaling's not based on the market. You have to change tactics? Yes. So guys, you guys are smart. Use your brain. Don't buy into every one of these suckers pitches because they're coming at you left and right. Me and Zach hear them every day. I sit there and roll my eyes. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Say that again. Will you put that in writing? Because please don't tell people I said that. I'm like, okay, then make this thing disappear. I never want to see it on my desk again. Period.
That's it. So guys, don't get stuck in cold calling jail. That's what I'm telling you. If you're stuck cold calling, try other options. Try it. That's all I get. Just try it. I'm telling you, you don't know it works till you do. I didn't know cold calling worked till I did it. I didn't know SMS worked till I did it. I don't know any of these strategies worked till I did it. So I recommend is we just updated freewholesaling.com. We got our 2-day live event. It's in there for free now for everyone to watch. We updated. We actually reduced the amount of videos in freewholesaling.com by 25%. So it's just more seamless. It's more to the point. We get it going. Mm-hmm. We make a lot of money on it. So guys, I'm telling you right now, if you're ready to get rich wholesaling real estate, this is the time. It will never get easier than today to wholesale. I promise you this. That is my word to you. There's more wholesalers coming in. There's no other business that can make you $25,000, $30,000 a month with no money at all as a stupid 18, 19-year-old like I was than wholesaling real estate. And because of that fact, there's going to be more of those kids coming in. Either you choose to do it now, gain the skills and wholesale with them, or say, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow and let those kids get rich. So you either choose you at 25 or 30 years old, makes 20 grand this month, or you're going to let the 18-year-old go do it and he'll go spend it at the club. You choose. It's your choice. Guys, either make the change right now, go to freewholesaling.com. I'm not here to charge you a dime to learn wholesaling. It's all for free. Go to freewholesaling.com, learn how to wholesale for free. Same AJV deal. Go into Flip Alert Plus for free. Come to the events. We'll make you a lot of money. And, you can go through our free wholesaling funnel where you don't pay a dime and you go meet with us and we can all make money together. So guys, go to freewholesaling.com. We really appreciate it. One extra thing I will say, I will be out for 7 days. Like I've said before, I'm getting my tonsils out. Yeah, it sucks. I get a lot of comments about it. Let me just be honest. My tonsils have been swollen for 6 months straight, and they are like closed like most of the time. That's pretty scary. Pretty crazy. And so they're coming out. I'll probably be out of it for like a couple days. I'm going to recover for 7 days, and then I'm going to keep going. But I appreciate everyone on that. So I will be out for 7 days, unfortunately. I asked, can I wholesale from the hospital bed? They said no. So unfortunately can't do it. But I really appreciate it, guys. I know everyone's been I've been asking I just saying that because like, where's Zach? I'm fine. The gurus did not get me. Okay. But we're doing that. Hopefully make me a lot better. But yeah, so appreciate it. I'll be out for a week, but I'll be back crazier than ever. So if I don't wholesale for a week, I'm going to get even crazier with it. Everyone says it takes 2 weeks. I know it takes 2 weeks. I'll be back in 7 days. Okay. I'll be back. Everyone says it's 2 week recovery. Do you think I care? No, I'll have the I'll be live streaming with the nurse next to me.
He's young, so I'll be here all next week, and I'm gonna help take care of him. He's got plenty of support with his family, friends, everybody else. So just we don't see him for a week. Just say a little prayer for him. He'll be fine. He just got to learn to keep his mouth shut, which is hard for him to do for any amount of time. But I'll be here. Everything will keep going. And we got plenty of people to help us run the channel. And so say a prayer for him. He'll be fine. He's going in tomorrow. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll be out here all next week. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. So Rick is doing Sunday's live stream on my channel. He's going to take it over. So go to Zach Ginn on YouTube for Sunday night. He might fall asleep, but that's okay.
That's it, dude. It's already up past my hour. But also Flip with Rick Plus. We're going to jump over in about 3 minutes on the other live stream. So if you guys are waiting.
On the Rick Ginn channel on Monday nights at 5 p.m. Go check him out there. It's gonna be really cool.
Yep.
And I'm gonna set all the live streams out tonight, so it'll be all kind of seamless and easy, and we'll be good going. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for all your thoughts, and yeah, we'll get it going. So I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. Go to Wholesaling.com and make some money. When I come back, you better get some checks.
That's it, guys. Flip with Rick Plus. I'll see you guys.